Hey there, Tracy here with Between CAD Classes. In this video, I'm going to show you how to create an eyebrow dormer in Autodesk Revit. Let's start first with what it is we're going to create. You can see this roof here and has the little dormer up above the door so that I have room to put in this round window. One important thing to note about this roof is that it doesn't extend out any further from the rest of the roof. So it's going to take a little bit of work to create. I won't just simply pick lines or pick walls to create this roof. We're going to have to split some roof lines. So let's see what that looks like. Here you can see I have just a rectangular building. I already have my door in here, so I kind of have an idea of where I want my eyebrow dormer to go. I'm going to switch to my roof plan so that I can start by creating just a simple gable roof. I'm going to start with the Roof by Footprint tool, and then I'll choose a different roof type. In this case, I'm going to choose the 10-inch asphalt shingle. And then I am going to set my overhang to 2 feet. I'll go ahead and tell it that I want it to define my slopes, and then make sure Pick Walls is selected. I'll pick the north wall and the south wall here to create 2 roof lines with slopes, and then I'll turn off Defines Slope, and then click my other 2 roof lines to create 2 gable ends. I'll escape out of my Pick Walls tool a couple of times here, and then I'm going to select my 2 horizontal lines here and adjust their slopes. In this case, I want their slope to be 8/12, so I'll select the slope value in the properties, type 8 and enter, and you can see it's replaced with 8/12. I'll go ahead and click Finish, and then attach all walls to this roof. Then I'll take a look at this in 3D. So now I can see my main roof, and once again I want to create an eyebrow dormer right up above this door. I'm going to return to the roof plan and select my roof and edit footprint. Now I've already done some measurements based upon where my door is located at. And what I want to do is come in 10 feet from the corner of the roof, and then for 7.5 feet I want it to slope up, and then for 7.5 feet I want it to slope back down. So I'm going to split this line into multiple pieces. Here in the Modify panel, I'm going to select Split Element. Then, using my temporary dimensions, I'm going to come 10 feet from that left side and click. Then I'm going to come 15 feet from that point and click again. And I'll escape a couple of times to get out of that tool, and you can see that I now have 3 individual lines here. Now, if you think about the roof when this is all done, this will continue to slope up to the peak, and so will this one, but I do not want this one to slope towards the peak. So I'm going to select this line and turn off Defines Slope. What I want to happen instead is I want this roof to slope from this endpoint to the midpoint of the line here. And same thing from the other direction. To do this, here on the Modify tab, I'm going to select Slope Arrow. Now the slope arrow, when you're clicking, it starts at the tail of the arrow and it ends at the head. So I'm going to locate this endpoint here and click for the tail of my arrow. And then I will simply click once I see the midpoint here. And that is my first arrow. Then I'll do the same thing from the other direction. So once again, the slope arrow tool, I'll locate the endpoint here and then click at the midpoint here to coincide with the other one. I'm going to escape a couple of times to deselect that, and what I'm not sure of is the slope of these arrows. So I'm going to select them both. You can just click and drag like so to select the arrows if you want. And then if I look at my properties, currently it's not specifying a slope value. It's specifying a height value. It's saying that the level at the tail is going to be the roof level, and then the level at the head is going to be 10 feet. So if that's something you know the actual height of where you want the peak to be, you can certainly specify that. But in my case, I want it to be 8/12, the same as the rest of the roof. So instead of height at tail, I'm going to click this drop down and choose slope. Now I can put in a slope value. So again, I will type in 8 and enter like I did with the main roof. And I've now adjusted both of these slope arrows to be 8/12. I'll go ahead and click Finish to take a look at how this looks. Look at it in 3D, and you can now see the little eyebrow dormer there. To finish this up, I'm going to add a window. So I'm going to double click on my south elevation here, and then I'm going to choose my window tool. Here I have a round window loaded in. It has multiple sizes. I'm going to go with the 36-inch window. And then I'm just going to click somewhere up above this door. In fact, I'm going to purposely not center it. That way when I use the align tool, I can see it move nicely. I'll go ahead and escape a couple of times to get out of that tool. Select this window, and I'm going to start by putting in its sill height of 8'6". Looks like I came pretty close there. So that'll take care of the height. And then next I want to align it. My favorite method of starting the align command is AL, but here on the modify tab, I can choose the align tool. Remember, when aligning, the first click is the object that's going to stay in the same location, and the second click is the object moving to match the first one. So I'm going to click the center of my door here first, then the center of the window. And now we can see it's nice and centered. I can even lock those together so that if the door moves, the window goes with it. Let's take one more look at it in 3D, and there we can see the final result of our eyebrow dormer with the window installed. Well, there you have it. Very easy to create an eyebrow dormer once you've learned the tricks of splitting and adding slope arrows. I hope you found that helpful. If so, feel free to give me a like. Of course, you can always subscribe, and as always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video from Between CAD Classes.